Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Serena and today I'm sharing with you what the runner is thinking and feeling in separation. Watch this video. Welcome back. Welcome. Thanks for joining me today. If you have not already, definitely hit the subscribe button and the little notification so that you will be notified every time I come out with a new video. And if you are returning, thank you so much and welcome back. I'm very excited to talk about today's topic, and this is from the runner's perspective. So if you guys don't already know, I was the runner. Can you say was or am, I guess. I don't know that we ever really shed that identity. I'm not sure. And I'd really like to actually explore a little bit of like the runner and chaser and attachment styles, because I've done a lot of research on attachment styles and I really think that that would be interesting. So comment below if you think that that would be an interesting video for us to explore kind of the runner and attachment styles and then the chaser and attachment styles. So let me know down below if that's interesting to you. If not, I'll just still keep mulling it around in my own brain. But getting back to the point, I was the runner in my twin flame separation stage. If you want to watch my entire runner story perspective, you can watch it up here. I'll link it above. But essentially, this video is going to be all about what I was thinking and feeling during separation while I was actively running. And so I want to make a disclaimer before we even go further into this video, and just let you guys know that each single perspective on the twin flame journey is going to be different, right? You signed up in this lifetime to choose how long you wanted to be separated from your twin, what you wanted to work on, if you were going to be in union with your twin in this lifetime or not. So keep in mind that my perspective may not be everybody else's perspective, and that my perspective is just one of, billions of perspectives on this one topic. So with that in mind, if you didn't watch my twin flame perspective video already, some of this may be a little bit redundant. So if you have watched it, just keep in mind I might be repeating myself a little bit. If you haven't watched it, this will probably all be new information for you. And so if you're looking for a deeper dive on some of the things I'm saying now, definitely watch that video. But essentially, as you guys maybe know or don't know, when I met my twin flame, I was in another relationship at the time. So for me personally, what I was thinking and feeling when I was running had a lot to do with the other relationship that I was in. So essentially for me, I was in a relationship, I met my twin, I left the relationship I was in briefly. I was in an open relationship. So I left that relationship briefly while we were traveling. I spent 2 or 3 days with my twin where we really just clicked and hit it off and just fell deeper into what I would say love, our love or our connection than I ever imagined possible in 2 days. After 2 days, we said we loved each other. And so that was a bit mind-blowing for me and a bit like chaotic. And then after that, I had to make the decision of, do I continue in this previous relationship or do I go in the direction of my twin flame, right? So I will honestly say this was one of the hardest decisions I ever made in my entire life. And when I left my twin, because I was renting a rental car to drive back to him about 7 hours from where I was before. So I had to get the rental car back. So regardless or not, I had to leave. So my running started at this point, right? So we had spent time together, we had connected, we had realized the depth and dimensions of our connections. And then came the running stage, which for me was when I left to go return this rental car and then to understand whether I was going to continue in my karmic relationship or whether I was going to leave that and come back to my twin, right? So What was I thinking and feeling at this time? Oh my gosh. Sheesh. It was so much emotion. It's hard to even like put it all into words. When I left my twin for the first time, I was just heartbroken. The morning that I had to leave him, I could not stop crying, and I couldn't for the life of me understand like why I was feeling such dramatic emotion. Because I had been in an open relationship before, I had been with other partners and left those other partners, or been with other partners with my current partner, right? And so like I had had this experience before. I had understood of what it's like to be sexually intimate with somebody and then have to leave them. But this was on, I tell you, a whole nother level where I felt like I was heartbroken, and my heart was so tired. So after returning to the trip that I was initially on, it was about a month long between meeting my twin and leaving him to when I decided to leave the other relationship. It took me almost a month to really fully decide that I was not going to be with my karmic partner anymore. And it took me about a month to really get rid of all of those ties. And so some of the really important things that I think need to be noted here is that if you're a chaser and you're watching this video to gain insight on the runner, you have to understand that they might not have been expecting you, right? They might not have been ready for you. They might not be ready for you. And so what's really important for the chaser to know is you need to give the runner time. You need to let them know that you're there, right? You're there for them, but also give them time because they need to wrap up things in their previous life before they're going to be able to come to you. And the more you push them and make them feel like they need to come to you, the quicker they're going to run away, right? So my partner, my twin flame right now, who was the chaser, I will say did an incredible job, because what he said to me was this. He said, look, if we're not supposed to be together, we're not supposed to be together. And if this 2 or 3 days that I got to be with you has changed my entire life for the better, and that's all I ever get to see of you again, I'm okay with that. But I'm also here to support you in whatever it is that you need. And it's gonna make me a little bit emotional because he was so willing to help me and willing to support me in the darkness that I was in at that time. The relationship that I was in had turned very toxic. I was trying to sort out how to get out of it, but it was so difficult for me. Watch this video, which is the false twin flame video, and I kind of explain a little bit more about how I felt leaving that relationship. But it was such a difficult time for me. I was trapped in so much fear. I was under so much pressure. My life was feeling like it was falling apart, and my twin was just there for me. He said, whatever you need, call me, text me. He just gave me love so freely without asking anything in return. And so if you're the chaser, this is the lesson for you, is knowing that your runner, it's not a lack of love or a lack of care for you. It's that your runner needs to take care of the things within themselves first so that they can be ready, right? If I would have left and come straight to him, or if I would have not rejoined my other partners traveling and had time to tie all of that up, it would have changed our dynamic completely, and my relationship with my twin would have gone really, really toxic. So the fact that I took the time to say, okay, let me get myself right. I know that my heart, after all of this, my heart was just, I remember sending an email to my spiritual mentor, and he lives in Mexico, and I was like, my heart just wants to sleep. Like, I can't even open it. And I'm such a heart-centered person, but I was like, I can't even open my heart. I don't want to give myself to my current partner. I don't want to give myself to my twin. I need it to sleep. And it was so painful. It was so painful at this time. So know that as the runner, it wasn't a lack of care, and it wasn't anything like that. It was that my heart was just sore. and it needed time to sleep and to recover from being heartbroken from leaving my karmic partner and being heartbroken from leaving my twin, and really just asking myself, like, okay, I need to be on my own for now, and I need to heal this thing, this gaping hole that was within me. It was very, very challenging. And so some of the other parts that I felt when I left my twin and when I left my karmic, I went back home to the States. And some of the things that I was feeling when I was there was just almost apathy, I think, is the best thing that I can use to describe that. Like, I wasn't feeling a lot. I was feeling so drained emotionally. I knew the depth of this connection with my twin, but I also thought, hey, that's too good to be true. We had 3 days together, right? 3 days. And we knew that that depth of love was so intense, but a part of me, a very logical part of me, said, you haven't had any of the stresses of a relationship on the two of you. You've been in this honeymoon phase, right, of just complete love for each other and complete support for each other, regardless of being together physically, right? And so there's a part of me that says, what would be so sad is if we truly got together in union and everything fell apart, right? And now I've left my previous partner for this person, and then that falls apart also. And then questioning whether I made the right decision, right? So as the runner, so many things were going through my mind, and a lot of it was logic-based, right? It was, okay, he lives in South Africa, which is, a world away from where my family is, where my home is. So what do we do logically? Does one of us move to the other? Is it going to work? Do I want to be there? Does he want to be here? Where are we going to go? The other things that were going through my mind were, job. How do I get a job there? How do I build a life? Some of the other things were, it's culturally very different. So, maybe I had a good couple days with my twin, but also when it comes down to our values and beliefs, are they even going to be the same? Because we were brought up so differently, right? So many things go through my mind as I'm running, But the thing that kept me grounded was this pull back to him, right? So every time I surrendered to what I was feeling, not what I was thinking, every time I surrendered to my heart, it was very, very obvious that I was being pulled to him. And it was very magnetic. And so there was a lot of fear in that as well, right? Because throughout my entire life, I always dreamt of this perfect partner and this perfect person, and this person that's going to help me evolve into the person I want to be. And now that person is finally showing up, right? So I have no more excuses. And I saw in my life how I had always chosen kind of toxic or emotionally unavailable partners so that I didn't have to be the biggest version of myself. I didn't have to live up to my own best capacity because I spent all my time trying to fix and help my partners. This partner, my twin, didn't need any of that. So it was very scary because I had to meet a version of myself that I've always wanted to be, but was so afraid to live up to my own full potential, right? So also in my runner perspective is this idea of fear. Fear is a really big motivator for why the runner runs, because you were being faced with a choice of how much do you love yourself. Because if the runner truly loves themselves, they will realize there is no better person out there for them than their twin. No one. There is no one that could possibly support you, love you, care for you, teach you, learn from you in any way better than your twin. And it's designed that way for a reason, right? So keep in mind that if you're the chaser and you're watching this video, don't take the runner's running personal. That's the biggest mistake you could make, is taking the running personal, because it's not towards you. It's low self-worth on the runner's part. It's a desire to, self-sabotage. It's the need to take care of oneself before opening themselves to you. And nothing you can do is going to make them come to you faster, right? The best thing you can do is just unconditionally support them in their process, what they need for themselves, and just be there for yourself in that same way. And so if that means you need to cut ties with them while they're running, then do that. Supporting yourself first will make sure that you are fully available for them in whatever way that they might need. But you also need to know what's healthy for you. And that's the biggest advice I think I could possibly give. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it helped. If you have more questions, put them down below. If you're looking for clarification on anything that I talked about today, definitely put it in the comments and I will always try to answer as best as I can. But thank you so much for joining me. Definitely hit the subscribe button, like this video, share it with somebody if you're feeling generous, and we will see you next time. Big love, Serena.